Welcome to the Hidden Corners, where truth and terror collide. Discover a realm where the lines between the living and the supernatural blur, as you embark on a journey to the paranormal and visit the mysterious hidden corners of your mind. The Eyes Have It. Adapted from a story by Philip K. Dick for Sci Fi Saturday, here on the Hidden Corners. Earth people are quite strange. I was recently given the task to study them, watch their strange antics, observe their wild emotions, their unusual behaviors. I find them most interesting, and as part of my education, I've spent a little time reading about them. A way to pass the time, you might say. Their physical diversity is intriguing. They have a myriad of appearances and features, but their courting habits I find most alarming. I recently came across a book written by one of these earthlings which describes their unusual courting habits and became most concerned. If this is the mating habits of these strange people, how are they ever able to procreate? I will presently tell my superiors that Earth is definitely not a planet we want to explore. Leave them and their strange rituals to some other planet. We want no part of this behavior. I shall describe the passage in detail so that you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. The first line that caught me off guard, and I tremble remembering it even now, read, "His eyes slowly roved about the room." Vague chills assailed me. I tried to picture the eyes. Did they roll like dimes? The passage indicated not. They seemed to move through the air, not over the surface. Rather rapidly, apparently. No one in the story was surprised. That's what tipped me off. No sign of amazement at such an outrageous thing. Later, the matter was amplified. His eyes moved from person to person. There it was in a nutshell. The eyes had clearly come apart from the rest of him and were on their own. My heart pounded and my breath choked in my windpipe. The story continued. Presently, his eyes fastened on Julia. What? Julia, being a lady, at least had the breeding to feel indignant. She is described as blushing and knitting her brows angrily. At this, I sighed with relief. Slowly, calmly, his eyes examined every inch of her. Great Scott! But here the girl turned and stomped off, and the matter ended. I sat back in my chair, gasping with horror. How in the world do their eyes do that? Knowledge like this was too much for the ordinary run-of-the-mill being like myself. What strange people these earthlings are. But I continued reading. There was more. Trembling, I read the most revealing passage. He put his arm around Julia. Presently she asked him if he would remove his arm. He immediately did so, with a smile. What? It's not said what was done with the arm after the fellow had removed it. Maybe it was left standing upright in the corner. Maybe it was thrown away. I don't care. In any case, the full meaning was there, staring me right in the face. Here was a race of creatures capable of removing portions of their anatomy at will. Eyes, arms, and maybe more. Without batting an eyelash, my knowledge of biology came in handy at this point. Obviously, they were simple beings, unicellular, some sort of primitive single-celled things, beings no more developed than starfish. A starfish can do the same thing, you know. I read on, and came to this incredible revelation, tossed off coolly by the author without the faintest tremor. Outside the movie theater, we split up. Part of us went inside, part over to the cafe for dinner. Binary fission, obviously. splitting in half and forming two entities. Probably each lower half went to the cafe, it being farther, and the upper halves to the movies. I read on, hands shaking. I had really stumbled onto something here. My mind reeled as I made out this passage. I'm afraid there's no doubt about it. Poor fellow has lost his head over a girl again. Which was followed by, and Bob says he has utterly no guts. What? And totally lacking in brains. Oh my gosh. Julia, whom I thought to be the one normal person, reveals herself as also being an alien life form similar to the rest. Quite deliberately, Julia had given her heart to the young man. It didn't relate what the fellow would do with the organ, but I didn't really care. It was evident Julia had gone right on living in her usual manner, like all the others in the book, without a heart. Without arms, eyes, brains, viscera, dividing up into two when the occasion demanded, without a qualm. Thereupon, she gave him her hand. I sickened. The rascal now had her hand, as well as her heart. I shudder to think what he's done with them by this time. He took her arm. Well, not content to wait, he had to start dismantling her on his own. Flushing crimson, I slammed the book shut and leaped to my feet, but not in time to escape one last reference to those carefree bits of anatomy whose travels had originally thrown me on the track. Her eyes followed him all the way down the road and across the meadow. I rushed from the garage and back inside my warm house as if accursed things were following me. My brow was feverish, my teeth chattering. I had had enough of the thing. I want to hear no more about these strange creatures on Earth. I don't want to get mixed up in it. Let some other alien life form invade Earth. I want no part of it. I have absolutely no stomach for it.